A journey from a small town of Muradnagar to the heights of winning the World Cup for Team India. Believe is an outstanding story of one of the most influential limited overs cricketer for Team India, Mr. Chinnathala Suresh Raina, told in his own swashbuckling style and captured beautifully in words by Mr. Bharat Sundarasan. By this book, we come to know the humble beginnings of Suresh Raina, how he faced a lot of bullying in his college days, how he overcame it, what kind of role Rahul Dravid and MS Dhoni played in his career, and what kind of role Priyanka, his wife, played in his personal life, and what hard work he had to do to get his spot in Team India. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what I liked about this book, what I didn't like about this book, and whether you should add this book to your bookshelf. So now let's look at what I liked about this book. The first thing being, it gets straight to the point. Just like Suresh Raina at the crease, it doesn't waste too much time in describing things. It gets to the point straight away. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it moves on to the next point with giving exact information that is required. Second thing that I liked about this book is the life lessons it gives. So the book tells the story of Suresh Raina, but Suresh Raina also tries to give a lot of information, a lot of lessons to the youngsters who's trying to either make it to the Indian team or just going through that college phase of life, where Suresh Raina has admitted that he faced a lot of bullying. There was a guy who actually urinated on Suresh Raina's face. So those were the horrible times, but how he faced those challenges and how he eventually decided to speak about it and overcame it. And it is important for someone like Suresh Raina to talk about it, spread awareness, and he has done that. He has spent an entire chapter talking about bullying that he faced, and also there are other occasions also in this book where he has informed to the youngsters how it is important to play the domestic level, play the Ranji cricket, get your game to the cover your all the bases of your games, like Suresh Raina did by going to Australia and England, because he feels that now that the IPL has come across, player gets this immediate boost by just getting signed by one of the clubs. But he does feel that it is need for the player to play the domestic level and cover his all bases to last longer at the international level. Third thing that I liked about the book is the fascinating insights it gives. So the most fascinating thing that I found about this book is the time when Suresh Raina was in the dressing room, when Rahul Dravid was the captain. How Dravid managed the team, how well he was at man management and getting the whole group together. And when you look at Dravid, you don't feel like he might be the most social person, but the way Raina describes it, it kind of gives you a feeling that Dravid was very much involved in the youngster setup in the Team India, and he supported Raina throughout. Dravid was one of Raina's, or probably is Raina's role model and the most favorite player of Raina. So Dravid knew that, and he played a lot of part in supporting Raina throughout his career. When Raina was injured, Dravid kept checking on him, and when Raina was in the team, Dravid was very supportive of. Even when Raina failed in his first innings, Dravid was one of the first person to tell him that, listen, this is just one innings. You are not here in this team at the age of 18 to just play one innings. We are looking at a very long, bright future for you. So this one innings is not going to define you, and that certainly had an impact on Raina and his confidence. So that was very interesting insights. There were a lot of insights of Raina spending time in Australia when he was part of a scholarship that sent Dhawan, Raina, and I think Venu Gopal Rao, if I'm not wrong, to Australia for the Border Gavaskar scholarship. So the time that he spent over there, how Team Payne was very courteous to them, and then the time spent by Raina in England, where he was one of the professional players. This was before he was selected for Team India. So how he managed everything by going to the ground at 5 o'clock, rolling up the pitch, and then playing one of the most important roles in their club, scoring over 500, 600 runs. And that eventually led to Trevor Chappell, who is the brother of Greg Chappell, who caught Raina's, Raina caught their eye, and then this Trevor Chappell informed Greg Chappell that there's this guy who you might look into and might be interested in getting selected for Team India. Raina has spent a whole chapter on Greg Chappell and how important Greg Chappell was to the youngsters of the team and the vision that Team India had at that time. So far we know that Greg Chappell is one of the most infamous coaches of Team India. Most of the seniors didn't like him. Most of the players didn't like the coaching style he had. But Suresh Raina in this book has given a complete different perspective of Greg Chappell. How Greg Chappell was very much focused on winning every single match, and how his vision eventually helped India in winning the 2011 World Cup. Raina believes that Greg Chappell did play a big part in India winning the 2011 World Cup. The fourth thing that I liked about this book is his thoughts on those World Cup innings. So we all know Suresh Raina played a massive part in India winning the 2011 World Cup. I think his innings against Australia in quarter-final and his innings against the Pakistan in semi-final were one of the most important innings that Suresh Raina played in his ODI career. And he has given a great insight on those innings, what went before that innings, how he was a bit not demotivated, how he kept himself positive when he wasn't selected in the earlier stage of the World Cup, even though he was playing well before the tournament started, and how the seniors kept motivating him, how Sachin came before the inning that he played against Australia and said something that really mattered to him and did boost his confidence. The insights that we got for those World Cup innings by Suresh Raina is probably my favorite part of this book, and that eventually leads to my one only thing that I didn't like about this book. So the only thing that I didn't like about this book is that it left me with a feeling of wanting more. So we got a story of how Suresh Raina came to the Indian team. We got a story of how Suresh Raina became the Indian captain and his captaincy gig in Zimbabwe. And we got a story of his part in the World Cup win. I would have liked to know how he made his comeback after the failure post the World Cup, how he made his comeback to the team. I think he doesn't talk enough about the part he has played in the massive success of Chennai Super Kings, how he's known as Mr. IPL, and I think I would have loved to hear more stories about that. This book is pretty fun. It's 170-180 pages, so I wouldn't have minded if they would have gone to around 250 pages. It would have been fun to know a few more stories of post-2011 World Cup, the senior Suresh Raina in the team, and his success after the 2011 World Cup as well. Let's move on to the final part of this video, the ratings and the conclusion. If I have to rate this book, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And if I have to compare it with something, I'll compare it with a Suresh Raina match-winning innings. Because just like that match-winning innings, the book dazzles you. The whole time book dazzles you. The book wins you over. And when the book ends, it leaves you with a feeling of wanting more. Just like a Suresh Raina innings. That was my review of Believe by Suresh Raina and Bharat Sundarasan. If you liked my review, then don't forget to press the thumbs up button below. Leave a comment in the comment section below who's your favorite Indian cricket player, and subscribe to the channel for more book reviews, book unboxing and anything related to the books. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you after the next read.